Hello and greetings everyone. I really appreciate the time that you take to watch my videos. Today we will talk about Vikings, the BBC show, and thus I welcome you to the next episode of Vikings Debunked. And today we will speak about the topic of numbers. It's again a general topic that fits basically most episodes of Vikings and is a hopefully short one, and let's just get right into it. Now, in Vikings, we often see battles between, let's say, 5 to 10 people against another 5 to 10 people in the first few episodes and indeed in the first season, while in the second and third season we see like 100 to 200 guys on each side fighting each other. Um, why? I mean, I can understand season one when the fights were basically between Vikings and the local patrolling guard. I mean, you don't send 200 men patrolling around, but it's really bothering me quite a bit because let me give you some actual numbers from actual history. The Viking armies that tried to conquer parts of England, so let's say one English kingdom or just a tiny part, numbered 8,000 Viking warriors. The army that actually tried to conquer all of England had 10,000 Viking warriors, and the guy leading them was very well aware that it was a very, very low number to try that. The various Viking, let's say, Viking raiding groups consisted already of several hundred men, and the ones that sacked Paris had a few thousand men with them. And that's just the perspective. On the other hand, we have, let's say, the English guys. Now, the English kingdoms could raise armies quite quickly due to the first men. I hope that's not butchered too badly. However, the third men were quick to raise, let's say, militia-like troops, and they were quite much in number. I mean, if we look at the 1066 events, the English army consisted of 12,000 men. 12,000 men that already fought the Vikings and lost about 4 or 5,000 men to the Vikings, and was raised very quickly. So the English could easily come up with 10,000 men and more in a short time. And then we have the show Vikings, in which Ragnar Lothbrok, with 2 or 3 boats, and the Viking boats usually had about 60 to 80 people on them. So let's assume Ragnar Lothbrok with 200 Vikings threatens several English kingdoms. Huh? No, not gonna happen. 2,000 warriors may be enough to threaten a single kingdom, but no, come on. No, the numbers in Vikings are just too small. I don't know why exactly they did it, because they want to keep it more realistic on a lower level, not like Lord of the Rings where we have these huge epic armies that clash with more people than you can possibly count on each side. But I think that would actually have been quite epic, because it would be more like a real battle where you have formations, like real formations fighting, not some dudes going all nuts there and some guys just swing their weapons wildly around there, but really battle tactics. Like you have heavily armored infantry at the center, and then you have light cavalry that basically harasses the enemy riding around, then you have heavy cavalry that tries to charge into the flanks, and into the enemy archer lines you have all kinds of troops. And that would have added a lot to my personal entertainment of the show and enjoyment of the show, because it's just more realistic. Of course, it also would have shown a lot of problems that the Vikings faced, because the Vikings basically had no cavalry, and that was a huge drawback in the battles that they fought. And the lack of cavalry was the main reason that the Vikings didn't take over England much earlier or much more often, or let's say conquered it before William the Conqueror in 1066. the lack of cavalry was really a problem that the Vikings had to deal with, and it would have given the show much more depth and much more epicness to show not only the struggle with cavalry, but also the problem with the numbers more accurately. And I think many battles would have looked so much better if there just were more people fighting and not less. I can see that this may be a problem caused by the budget, and I'm not too disappointed how BBC did it in the end, but it really could have been done much better. And having said that, I think I'm going to finish this video already, and I really hope that you enjoyed it, although I think when I look at the time there is room for one more tiny thing to add. It's formations, as I already tried to speak about it in this video anyway. So the thing is that formations were very, very important to warfare back then, even more so than today. And that meant that you have to come up with great ideas to do stuff. There are exactly two very famous typical Viking formations that were very important and led to their success to a huge degree, which was the shield wall that all of you have heard of, and the boar snout, which likely only a very few of you heard of. Now, the shield wall basically means that men stand next to each other, interlinking their shields. Shields for doing that shouldn't be smaller than 60 centimeters in diameter, because more like 80 centimeters in diameter, because that adds really good protection for you and the guys next to you. That's the idea behind it. And the shield wall is so strong because the shields are interlinked. That means if force comes in any direction, there are 2, 3 or 4 shields holding against that pressure, so that 2, 3 or 4 men can hold against it, and that makes it strong. Now, what makes it deadly is the second row, and that I haven't seen in Vikings, the TV show, at all. And that's very sad, because while the shield wall is very good at protecting guys from arrows or an incoming army or horse attack, cavalry attack, you can't really fight well in the shield wall. I mean, it's very hard to swing your weapon, you can't do much, and if you want to do anything, you have to basically make the shield wall go up like they did show. And the problem is, once it is up, you can't close it again. It's, if you give it up, you gave it up, and then it's just brawling. In the TV show Vikings, they showed this scene where the shield wall opens, lets enemies in, and then closes as if there was no resistance from the other guys. Seriously, if they are pressing against the shield wall and we open it, yes, a few will come in and fall in and be quite helpless, but you can't close it after that. The people are still streaming against you. They want to come at you. They won't just step aside and, oh, sorry, I didn't see you wanted to close your shield wall again. I will just step back and wait until you're done. That's not how it works. And that's why I said I missed the second row, because in a shield wall, the first row were the shields, and the second row were the guys with the long weapons, the two-handed spears, the Dane axes and such guys, who attacked the enemy over the shield wall. They swung their weapons, or basically poked the enemies through the shield wall, on top of the shield wall, and basically killed the enemies from behind. So the dangerous thing of the shield wall. But that made it so great, the formation where the guys with the long weapons in the second, and depending on how you did it, third row, because they could attack over the protection of the shield wall. And that was really devastating. The shield wall in itself, without the second row, is quite pointless. It's good to reflect arrows, it's good to, let's say, take a cavalry charge, but after that it's useless. If you have a second row behind you, then it's still useful in the actual melee that is going on. And that's what I basically want to emphasize here. The shield walls in the series could have been much more authentic, much better, and way more badass and cool. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and please don't forget to rate, comment, and if you like me, subscribe to my channel. Thanks, see you next time.